2 days after my wedding, I opened my laptop, expecting a warm note from my parents. Instead, I was greeted by an invoice. Every flower, every table, every plate of food was itemized as if I were a guest, not their daughter. The number at the bottom made my stomach twist. $36,000. This was the same couple who had gifted my sister $400,000 for her wedding. Tom, my husband, froze beside me, staring at the screen. "Elena, what is this?" he asked. I thought the invoice itself was the betrayal. But the real shock came moments later when someone started banging on our apartment door. I had grown up in a quiet neighborhood, where every home looked immaculate, with freshly trimmed lawns and perfectly decorated holiday wreaths. My parents, Daniel and Marilyn Ward, fit in perfectly. Outwardly, they were the kind of couple everyone admired. Polished, successful, always smiling. If you didn't know us, it seemed like we were a normal, loving family. But inside our home, everything revolved around my older sister, Lily. 4 years ahead of me, she always drew the spotlight. My parents praised her constantly, proudly displaying her trophies and recounting her accomplishments to anyone who would listen. Whenever Lily wanted something, new clothes, the latest phone, a shopping trip, it happened immediately. I, on the other hand, grew up with hand-me-downs, learning to make things last for years. I began working at 16 not because I had to, but because I wanted things my parents never provided. They called it building character. At the time, I believed it. The favoritism wasn't blatant or cruel. It was subtle, almost invisible. A soft compliment for Lily here, a small denial for me there. On holidays, Lily chose the restaurant, the family activities, even the movies. I learned to shrink, to blend into the background, to occupy as little space as possible. By the time I left for college and later built a career as a software engineer, I had armored myself with independence. Life felt steady, even if a quiet part of me still ached to be noticed. Then I met Tom Alvarez. His family was warm and grounded. They welcomed me effortlessly. His mother hugged me the first time we met, his father asked about my work, and his siblings joked with me like I had always been one of them. Tom saw me, the quiet, careful me. He noticed the parts one had spent years hiding, the habit of minimizing myself. And he didn't let me disappear. When he proposed, it felt like the start of something gentle and real. My parents' reaction surprised me. They were enthusiastic, asking about the venue, offering to cover all expenses. After Lily's $400,000 wedding, the gesture shouldn't have shocked me, yet it did. It wasn't about the money. It was about their tone, the seeming sincerity. For once, I allowed myself to believe they wanted to treat me like they had treated her. Our wedding was small, intimate, and exactly what Tom and I had envisioned. We held it in a serene garden on the city's outskirts, with string lights draped low and soft music filling the air. My parents arrived early, hugging me, complimenting every detail, insisting they would handle the remaining payments. In that moment, I allowed myself to hope that maybe, just maybe, the years of distance were easing. During our first dance, I caught my mother wiping a tear. My father clapped Tom on the back, praising the vows he had written. For a fleeting moment, I believed something had shifted. I felt seen. I felt a sense of belonging I had longed for my entire life. 2 days later, the illusion collapsed. I was sitting amid half-unwrapped gifts and scattered ribbons when I opened my laptop. Tom was in the kitchen making coffee. Expecting a sweet note or a few photos, I clicked the email labeled Wedding Payments. My heart sank immediately. It wasn't a record or receipt, it was an invoice. Every detail was listed meticulously, as if our wedding had been a transaction. Flowers, appetizers, chairs, string lights, all tallied. The total, $36,000, hit me like a physical blow. I froze. My mind refused to register it. Tom approached, 2 mugs in hand. "You okay?" His voice faltered as he saw the screen. "Elena, what is this?" I don't know," I whispered. "I just don't understand." But deep down I understood perfectly. Every forgotten birthday, every hand-me-down, every subtle message that I mattered less. It was all the same pattern. My parents had dressed it up in nicer packaging, but it was no different from the favoritism I had endured my entire life. The betrayal wasn't the amount. It wasn't the invoice. It was the reminder that, no matter what, I would never receive the same love and recognition that Lily did. The next morning, a new message from my mother flashed across my screen. "Hope you received the invoice. Please handle the payment soon. This is what we agreed was responsible. Responsible. That one word twisted something deep inside my chest. My parents had insisted on paying for my wedding. Practically begged to cover everything. I never asked them for a single rupee. I never expected them to match the $400,000 they gifted Lily when she got married. I wasn't keeping score. I never wanted to. But this cold list of charges, flowers, chairs, plates of food, felt like a trap they'd set and waited for me to fall into. Tom paced across the living room, rubbing a hand through his hair. They can't possibly mean this, Elena. It's insane. But with my parents, money always came with rules, with control, with invisible strings that tightened once you accepted it. I read the email again and again, searching for a sign it wasn't real. A joke. A misplaced attachment. Anything. There was nothing. Just the bill. Just the expectation. Just the realization that every warm smile from the wedding wasn't love. It was performance. That evening, as the sky dimmed behind the city, I sat at the table and let old memories surface like bruises I'd ignored for years. Lily getting the newest phone while mine was held together with tape. Lily wearing brand new clothes, while mine came in a plastic bag with donate scribbled on it. Lily receiving $400,000 with a celebratory toast, while I was now being handed an invoice like a tenant overstaying her welcome. And for once I didn't swallow the hurt. I didn't tell myself I was imagining it. I didn't excuse them. This wasn't an accident. It was a message. And it became the turning point I never realized I had been waiting for. I didn't sleep that night. Tom tried to pull me close to calm me, but my mind kept looping through the same betrayal. The list. The cold tone. The expectation that I would obey. By morning, something inside me had gone still. Not numb but clear. Tom watched me carefully from across the kitchen table. What do you want to do? I'm going to pay it, I said. He stared stunned. Elena, you don't owe them this. I know. My voice was steadier than my heartbeat. But I'm paying it anyway. Because I'm done letting them hold money over my head. Picked up my checkbook. Writing the amount in clean, controlled letters felt strangely liberating. For the first time in my life, I wasn't negotiating for approval. I wasn't pretending things were fair. Tom squeezed my hand gently. Whatever you need, I'm here. I nodded and slipped the check into an envelope. But I didn't stop there. I wrote a letter, measured, honest, painfully direct. I told them how deeply the invoice cut. How their gift felt like a setup. How the bill confirmed what I had spent years convincing myself wasn't true. The favoritism, the manipulation, the way love was rationed out like an allowance. I wrote that I would never again accept money from them. Not a gift, not assistance, not a single penny with strings attached. I told them I was refusing any future inheritance. And then the sentence I never imagined I'd write. This will be the last financial interaction we ever have. I sealed the envelopes before doubt could creep in and mailed them. The entire day passed in silence. No call from my mother, Marilyn. No message from my father, Daniel. The quiet should have felt peaceful, but instead it sat heavy, like the thick stillness before a storm. The storm arrived the next morning. One by one, messages from extended family lit up my phone. An aunt who never called, cousins who forgot my birthday, even a distant uncle. Every message was the same. How could you treat your parents like this? They were trying to teach you responsibility. You're overreacting. You should apologize. My parents had wasted no time rewriting the story. Tom glared at my buzzing phone. Blocked them. All of them. But I didn't. Not yet. I needed to see how far this would go. Then an email came. From a work address I didn't immediately recognize. It was my mother. Elena, the invoice wasn't real. It was a lesson. You weren't meant to take it literally. We planned to surprise you with a $100,000 gift after you showed responsibility. Don't escalate things. I reread those lines 3 times. A lesson. A test. A promised reward for obedience. Tom read it over my shoulder and muttered, "They're unbelievable." I didn't reply to her email. Instead, I opened my banking app and deposited the untouched check they had given me months earlier for the wedding. Money I had never used. I wanted it in my account before they could cancel it and rewrite their version of events. Their test was over. My answer was final. That evening my phone rang again. This time a familiar number. My father's younger brother, Uncle Aaron. He had always hovered at the edges of family gatherings, quiet, almost detached. When I picked up, his voice was calm. Elena, I heard what happened. I've been exactly where you are. And suddenly everything snapped into clear focus. This wasn't new. This wasn't about me alone. They had done it before. I met Aaron the next afternoon in a small cafe downtown. He stirred his coffee slowly, eyes down. Your grandparents pulled the same tricks on me, he said quietly. They weaponized money. When I pushed back, they turned the whole family against me. A cold shiver ran through me. So it's a pattern, I murmured. He nodded. Your parents learned it from the best. When I walked out of the cafe, the truth settled fully in my bones. I wasn't facing a single cruel invoice. I was facing generations of control. And for the first time, I knew exactly what I would do next. 2 nights later, just as the sun was dipping below the horizon, I was folding laundry in the bedroom when a deafening bang shook the front door. Then another. Then another. A voice shrieked through the hallway. Open this door right now. Tom looked up from the couch, startled. I whispered, Is that? He nodded. It's Lily, my older sister, the so-called golden child of the family, the one around whom everything revolved. And now she was pounding on our apartment door, both fists slamming the wood. The hallway turned her screams into a megaphone. I walked slowly toward the foyer. Tom followed behind me, protective but letting me take the lead. When I reached the door, I didn't open it. I just stood there and listened. You are unbelievable, Elena. Lily's voice cracked. You actually paid the invoice. Why would you do that? Why embarrass Mom and Dad like that? Embarrass. The word scraped raw against something deep inside me. More fists hit the door. They were trying to help you. They gave you a chance to prove yourself and you turned it into some grand spectacle. Everything has always been about you. Tom's jaw tightened. I rested a hand on his arm. Grounded both of us. I lifted my phone quietly and hit record. Lily continued, her voice climbing, each word sharper than the last. Do you even realize how much they cried over you? How hard Mom tried to teach you the lesson? If you weren't so selfish, you'd understand. Now the whole family is talking because of you. Everyone thinks you're ungrateful. Honestly, I agree. I mean, come on, Elena. You should have just accepted it and stayed quiet. Finally, I spoke. Not yelling. Not angry. Calm, clear, certain. You need to leave, Lily. A pause. Oh, so you're home. Open the door. No. Why not? Because you're not here to understand, I said evenly. You're here to maintain the same cycle that's been hurting our family for generations. And I'm done being part of it. Her voice dropped into confusion. She wasn't used to me being so blunt. What are you even talking about? You don't want answers, I said. You want obedience. You want me to fall in line and pretend the world has always revolved around you. I won't do that anymore. Her tone sharpened. Don't psychoanalyze me, Elena. I'm not the problem here. You are. No, I said softly. I'm just finally speaking the truth out loud. A high, desperate laugh escaped her. You're delusional. Mom and Dad were trying to teach you responsibility. They were going to give you $100,000 afterward. You ruined everything. This has never been about money. Yes, it is. No, I said again, firmer this time. It's about control. A long beat passed. Just air vibrating between us. Then a choke sob. So what? You're done with all of us? With the whole family? Yes. Until something changes. Her voice shook. Fine. If you want to throw your family away, go ahead. But don't come crawling back when you realize you're alone. I'm not alone, I said, turning to Tom. Not anymore. Her footsteps echoed down the hall, fading with every stomp. A door slammed near the elevator. Then silence. Tom wrapped his arms around me from behind. I'm proud of you, he whispered. My phone buzzed just then. A voicemail from my father. Elena, I don't want to fight anymore. I think things have gone too far. If you're willing, I'd like to meet. Just to talk. Tom met my eyes. Do you want to? I think I need to, I said. The next afternoon, I sat across from my father at a riverside cafe. He looked older than I remembered, shoulders slumped, eyes tired. On the table between us lay the check I had mailed him. He slid it toward me. "We don't want this. Take it back." Slowly, I pushed it back across the table. "No." He blinked. "Elena, it's not about the money anymore." And for the first time, he had no answer. After that meeting, something inside me settled. Not happily, not painfully, just finally. Tom and I walked home under the late afternoon sun. For the first time in weeks, my chest felt light. My parents stopped emailing. The extended family quieted down too. And this silence didn't feel threatening. It felt earned. That weekend, Tom's family invited us for dinner. His mother hugged me. His father saved me the last slice of pie. And for a moment, I understood what family was supposed to feel like. Steady, simple, kind. I wasn't naive enough to believe everything was fixed. But I wasn't trapped in the old cycle anymore either. For the first time, the future felt mine. Looking back, the invoice wasn't the real betrayal. It was the reminder of how long I had accepted crumbs and called them love. Setting boundaries didn't break my family. It broke the cycle. And if you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or pressured to stay quiet to keep the peace, you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. Tell me which part hit you the hardest. And subscribe so you don't miss the next one.